Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Total Extreme Wrestling for our TNA 2007 playthrough. We are continuing on from the Against All Odds pay-per-view a couple of weeks ago. Now moving along to the Destination X. It is about three more episodes of Impact before we get to there, which will be definitely exciting. And as we've been doing recent times, the championships will be on the line. You know, the X Division Championship will be up for grabs again this week. So looking forward to seeing who does take that challenge this week. Couple pieces of news as well. One piece of news confuses me, angers me. I don't know. I guess it's my mistake, but let's get to it. It's Konnan. So apparently Konnan was extremely unhappy here and decided to walk out without giving any notice. So he's gone. See you later. Which is really interesting. Now, we did have him on a pay per appearance deal, so he can leave whenever he wanted to. But I just didn't really notice that Konnan's morale was that bad. I didn't really realize that he was that unhappy here. So what, for the second time he's left? And we had him... we didn't have him for long first time around. He only lasted a month. Not even a month. And then he quit. And then we brought him back in August. And then he quit again. So a little bit longer this time. Obviously we brought him in. He was the manager of Homicide. We brought him in to get the LAX rolling. We wanted to have Hernandez there. But Hernandez obviously not quite good enough in the ring yet to be in the group. Now we got obviously Chavo recently. And I thought, okay, Chavo, Homicide together with Konnan, we might actually have LAX bring in Hernandez when he's ready. We've got a nice little group there. And all of a sudden, boom, poof, he's gone. Quits. See you later. Again. So, I don't know what his problem was. I didn't really realize that he was that bad. But that's probably my fault. It probably said it. It probably said, hey, I'm really not happy here. Please fix it. I don't know what went wrong, but he's gone. So we lost Konnan, which I'm sure won't be a massive loss, but just, a little annoying, I'm not going to lie. Sarita's contract is up for grabs. We're going to re-sign her, no doubt about that. We're definitely going to keep her. She's emerging in our women's division. I want to try and get her building. She's one of our more talented, so we need to start pushing her a bit better. Hopefully we can. A couple of Jake Roberts deals. Tommaso Ciampa, his contract is up for renewal. Now, he won't sign a developmental deal, so we'll have to bring him in as a regular and then put him back down to developmental. But he believes he's already pretty much fully developed. Now, looking at his stats, they're pretty decent, not going to lie. They're getting there. They're not the worst. Pretty good basics, as you can see. Psychology, safety, it's pretty decent. Mike's skill's not quite there, but for the most part, he's pretty good. He's not the worst. But I kind of feel like letting him go to the indies and working the indies for a while, because we don't really have a spot for him. He's pretty low in the pecking order right now in terms of guys we're going to bring to the main roster anytime soon. So he'd just be stuck in GFW working down there and probably doing a pretty good job. I think we've got him with Gargano as a tag team. So we could keep doing that. I hate signing someone to a regular written deal, then sending them back down to developmental. I hate doing that, but we can. Let me know. Should we keep Ciampa or let him go? You let me know in the comments below. It's not a big loss if we let him go, because he goes to Ring of Honor, he goes to wherever and continues to work, keeps getting better, and then maybe we can free up that roster spot to bring in somebody else who's maybe more ready, or someone who we believe could be better suited on our roster. But he is, he has got some good stats. He's a pretty good worker, not gonna lie. But I just don't know if I'd give him that big push yet. He's still very, very young, so he's got a lot more time to go. But I think I'm kind of convincing myself to keep him, but we'll see. Nagata, he's actually injured. We still have him for one more match. If we want him to have one more match, we still got him. We haven't used that yet, because we haven't done another one-night-only show in Japan. It's been a while. We probably should do one soon. But he's, of course, the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. WWE are making it a little bit more difficult to keep try and sign Victoria, who's still on maternity leave for 4 months. Forgot about that, but yeah, she is on maternity leave. I've done a counter offer. So WWE, $11,000 per month, 4 years. The best we can do is 10.65 per month. Dixie won't let me do any better than that, and I've decided I'll give her 5 years. That'll take her till she's 40. And to sweeten the deal, I've given her everything except house shows. And I could probably say never a lower than upper mid card, couldn't I? Because women's division doesn't really have an upper mid card or a lower mid card, so we'll say that. We'll say that to sweeten the deal, because she would be pushed pretty well. 54 popularity, veteran of the roster, one of our better women, surely. So she would have a pretty good run. She would have a lot of success, so she would be pushed pretty good. Probably until maybe 38, 39 if she starts to decline. But yeah, so she'd be, well used, I would think. Can play a good babyface or a good heel, which is handy. I think right now we'll probably bring her in as a heel, but it's 4 months away anyway, so we won't have her for a while. But yeah, so that's that. But yeah, there's a few guys who got a couple morale issues. Jerry Lynn, you're not happy. And once again, if you got morale issues, give him a bit of money. Money makes everybody happy. Goldberg, well, Goldberg wants to be used more. That's his problem. Now, Goldberg, obviously being a bigger star, he wants more money to be happy. So we want Goldberg to be happy. I'm willing to pay that money to keep him happy, because it would take a long time to remove those issues. And same here with Brother Ray. He's always got some kind of problem, doesn't he? So we give him a bit of a bonus there, keep him happy, all good. Chavo, after this episode of Impact, he'll now be available for us. Now, Chavo, definitely I want him in the tag division, but also in the X division would be pretty handy there. So we'll put him in that division there. And like I said, I'm thinking maybe Chavo and Homicide together as a tag team would give us a nice team there. But also him and Homicide could also be a factor in the X division as well. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. As we said, we're starting to build towards Destination X, then Lockdown. So it's important we get our big storylines rolling. Still doing some original storylines such as Jarrett and Styles. We need to start Abyss and Goldberg today. Jericho and Christian, continue that one. I think I'll have Jericho's first match be at the pay-per-view, make that a bit more special. Jericho's first match, rather than do it on Impact. I think I'll have Jericho wrestle regularly, not on a Goldberg type of deal. Because Jericho is the type of guy you want to see often, whereas Goldberg's more of a special attraction. So Jericho will probably wrestle as much as Christian does. Christian's not every week. Every 3 weeks we'll see Jericho in the ring. That's kind of all our main eventers. We don't use them every single week in the ring. But let's have a look at Christian. You see, he's only had one match so far this year. One match. That's it. I mean, he's kind of been out of the loop. But last year, he had just 25 matches in the whole year. So 25 matches in 52 weeks. So 52 episodes of Impact, I think, and then factor in 10 pay-per-views or whatever. So about 1 in 3 shows he would have a match. So not including Explosion, which I don't even think he had in a single Explosion match. Probably not. So yeah, so we don't typically overuse him too much, and I think that's the thing with your main event guys and your champions. Keep them relatively special. When they have a match, it's going to be a big one. Don't just have them on the show to have a match. It can help sometimes putting them together with a lesser guy. Like we did do that with Christian and Bobby Roode, just to test that out and have a good match there to help the young guy come through a little bit. That can also obviously can help. But if you're ever booking your own TW, don't give away big matches. I'm not going to do Christian and Abyss just to do it on the main event of Impact, just to have a good match. Save it for a pay-per-view, save it for a big time, and you'll get a bit of a better payoff, and it'll be better, more special. That's just my advice anyways. But yeah, so we do have some shows to book. Might get through a couple of shows in today's episode. I want to get close to the next pay-per-view. Just whilst it was on my mind, thinking maybe one night only, maybe we could do another one. We don't have Nagata though for another 16 days, I think it was. So perhaps we might schedule one for perhaps after the next pay-per-view. So the next one is Destination X Week 2 March. We might do a one night only in Week 3 March, I guess you could do it. So we could have just a special Tuesday, week 3. We'll have it on a Friday and have it in March. So there you go. So one night only. Do that in March after Destination X. You know, and that can obviously give us a chance to go to Japan, do a show there, which is great, and try and boost our size in Japan. Because if you have a look at Japan, I've shown you guys this quite a bit, but show you just quickly now. It's gone from 11 to 14 throughout the duration of the game, but still not high enough to get us a TV deal. In Kanto we're 15, so we might continue to work on that region. If we can get ourselves a TV deal in Japan, then we can start really building ourselves up and continuing to grow internationally, which is obviously the goal. Not just US, we're doing great in US, but we also want to be an international company as well and be a threat all around the world. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and book our Impact show for today, and we'll show you the results just quickly after this. Matt Morgan doing some impressions and some protege stuff there with Flash and Daniels. But let's have a look at our regions. So let's see, Tri-State, we haven't done a show since December. Wow, June 2006 for the Northwest. That's pretty bad. That's been a long time. It's been a long time. October 2006 for Puerto Rico. That's understandable for Puerto Rico. We don't, they don't speak full English, so you get penalized when you do promos there. But definitely the Northwest, we have neglected. Wow. Okay, so Northwest, we'll give you a show. We'll give you a show that you clearly need. All right. So let's show you the results in a minute. Okay, so we had a pre-show match with Christy Hemme and Jazz, and wow, 60 rated. Christy Hemme 64, Jazz 40, no surprise, but Christy Hemme 64 rated. I mean, she's got good popularity. The questionable thing was her ring skills, but that's pretty good for a woman. 64 that's pretty good. That's a high standard. So Christy might nearly be ready to return to the main roster, which would be fantastic because we do need a woman who has some popularity desperately. And if we had her, that'd be fantastic. So 64, that's really good. I thought I would just test her out, see where she's at, and I think she's coming along really well. Open the show up with Abyss coming out and saying, hey, I'm here and I'm having an open challenge. Who wants it? Goldberg wants it. So we start that rivalry off there. Goldberg accepts the challenge. Just 88 though to start, but that's okay. And yes, we start that rivalry off. We had Paul London challenge Alex Shelley for the X Division Championship. Shelley defends. Of course, every single week he has to defend the championship. He's done it again. 88 by Shelley, 85 for Paul London. And then we had Piper's Pit with Melina and Beth Phoenix on it. Roddy Piper telling Melina that her opponent will be Beth Phoenix coming up, and they went back and forth a little bit on the microphone there. Pretty good segment for the women, 83. I thought I would change it up a little bit there because I think I've been a bit stale just doing promos, hype promos, things like that. So I thought I'd switch it up, get Roddy Piper involved again, utilize him, who obviously will help in these types of segments. So we utilized him, and more talk shows are good. We don't probably do enough talk shows. They're an underrated segment, I think, and this one went pretty well. We had Molly Holly beat Shelly Martinez, and apparently Shelly Martinez and James Mitchell have zero chemistry together. Oh boy, so there goes that. But apparently Molly Holly and Shelly have great chemistry, which is good. Molly 70, Martinez 38. So there's the difference. Christy Hemme 64 in developmental. Martinez, we brought her up, we kind of rushed her to the main roster, so she's probably not ready. 38. So yeah, probably not ready, Martinez. We wanted to bring her up to join this Insane Asylum group, but maybe she's not ready for too many matches. I don't know. But yeah, Molly Holly gets the victory. Afterwards, Sarah Del Rey tried to attack Molly Holly, tried to beat her, but she failed. Molly able to get the upper hand and forced Sarah to retreat. Rhino and Samoa Joe, they started brawling backstage. I'm pretty happy that segment went well, 96, because I just felt like that was going to be a good one. Rhino and Samoa Joe just fighting backstage, having a brawl, I think would make for good TV. two big dudes just, spitting the crap out of each other backstage. Awesome. So, not surprised that went well. I'm happy that went well. Kenta Marufuji versus Aries and Strong. So obviously getting the Dutch Dynasty back on TV again. Starting to try and give them some more TV time. They lost. Thanks to interference from Tess, giving Strong and Aries the victory. Lots of talent in this match. Lots of talent. Aries 94, Strong 82, Kenta 86, Marufuji 84. Definitely wish we could get these guys rolling a bit better. It's so difficult, but we're trying. So there you go. Jeff Jarrett promo on AJ. Probably need to do something big next time on Impact for these two, or maybe even Explosion. Just try and do something bigger between these two. Ron Killings versus Michael Shane. Now, we re-signed Michael Shane to a contract. Now, obviously, his contract was expiring. We gave him a 6-month deal, whatever. So when we signed him, he was actually still on the main roster. So I figured whilst he's here, I'll give him a match. I'll see how he goes. Ron Killings needs a victory, so we just let Michael Shane lose. Shane 57, Truth 74, 75 rated match. Matt Morgan on commentary. And then afterwards, Matt Morgan attacked Ron Killings, beat him down to send a bit of a message to Killings again. And then, well, I did say earlier in the episode that I wasn't going to, you use Christian not too much, try not to give him too many matches. Well, this week we are giving him a match. I figured, hey, let's give him a match. So, promo between Jericho and Christian, 86, targeted towards America's Most Wanted. You probably would think they would be better than that, but that's okay. Now, Christian having a match, 92 rated. That's really good. Really, really good against James Storm. So, Christian 95, 79 for Storm. Oh no. James Storm suffered a broken metatarsal, so I think that's probably about a 3-week injury. Ooh, he might not be okay for the pay-per-view. He could be. That's touch and go. So we'll have to check that in more depth. But yeah, good match between the two. Now, obviously, no surprise, Christian, one of our best workers. But I figured, let's give James Storm a chance. Let's have a match between these two teams without doing the tag match, and it went pretty well. James Storm, 79 rated. He definitely could be a singles. I think probably Chris Harris not so much, but I definitely think James Storm could be a singles, champion maybe one day. I don't know. He's behind a lot of guys, but he's got enough popularity now where he could transition if we wanted him to. We don't, but if we wanted him to, he definitely could. He's probably good enough. All right, so let's take a look. Sartorius Wilson. All right, who cares? Chavo's left WWE, so he'll join us. Mark Jindrak has left. Do we not sign him? Do we not keep him? Oh, crap. All right. So, apparently we let him go. That's not good. And he was the heavyweight champion. Oh, no, he lost that. So, he did lose it. So, yeah, we did let him go. I mean, I'm surprised I did that. I thought I was going to keep him. But that's okay. That's okay. We can bring him back later. But I guess looking at him, let's have a look at his progression. Let's see how he went. So, yeah, he definitely did improve quite a bit in some of his weakest skills. Basics 73 to 81. Psychology definitely went up big time. Safety as well. So he was actually really developing into a good worker. I don't know why I didn't keep his contract. I guess I passed over it. Thought, yeah, I'll get it later. Or just forgot about it. Or maybe I had a reason a week ago. A week ago I thought, no, I don't want him anymore. Now I'm kind of wondering why I didn't keep him. But we could always bring him back later. He won't negotiate with us now. But 6 months' time, he probably will come back. Okay, so we've advanced to the end of the month and to the beginning of the new month, which is now March. And now we get this big story pop up. 10 WWE wrestlers named on the steroid list. Now, sometimes these stories pop up in mods because, they've real life things that happen and they try to apply it to the game. It doesn't really work sometimes. Other times it could just happen. I have no idea. But here it is. So since last summer, Sports Illustrated reporters, who cares what their names is, have been investigating an illegal steroids distribution network that has implicated pro wrestlers. The reporters accompanied federal and state drug enforcement agents on a coordinated raid of the Orlando compound pharmacy and a Jupiter FLA, whatever it is, anti-aging clinic that investors alleged conspired to fraudulently prescribe steroids, so human growth hormones and other performance-enhancing drugs over the internet. So, okay, so they found drugs. Apparently there's a big network going on. 14 wrestlers have been named on the list that has gone public, 10 of which are currently employed by WWE. To say the company would have gone into public relations damage control would be an understatement. Okay, now, do we know who's on this list? Is this legit, or is this just kind of like a fabricated, shitty thing that doesn't really mean anything to the game or even impact it at all? I don't know. But let's have a look. So, we also have a couple pieces of news. So, we finished last in our national battle with the with WWE. So, they have 4,237 what do you call it? Popularity points, national points, whatever you want to call it. We had 3,733, so not that far away, but obviously they did beat us. Goldberg, Jericho, Hardy, Hassan, and Christian our best. So we finished last against them. So a couple of offers here. Let's look, not much there. The big news is Victoria has decided to stay with WWE. Yep. Not happy about that at all. Obviously, we gave her a 5-year deal. Pretty sweet deal, but she's happy to stay at the WWE, and whatever. It is what it is. Would have loved to have had her on my roster, is what I was trying to say. But just couldn't quite seal the deal. Sometimes you just can't. Dixie wouldn't let me give her any more money, and Vince apparently outbidded me. So that's frustrating. Very, very frustrating. So we really needed her on our roster. We couldn't quite get it. Let's see if there's any new wrestlers. Look at all these hostilities. Apparently WSU has kind of started battles with a lot of companies, including GFW, so including Global Force. So our little developmental company has got themselves some competition by the looks of it. And let's see, is there any new workers? Here's a couple. So he was actually in FCW, Amani Lee. So apparently he does join FCW. Interesting. TJ Cannon, never heard of him, and Alexandra Hart, youngest daughter of Bret Hart. There you go. Okay, so and she's probably no good, even though she's a Hart, no good. But yeah, so there you go. That's not a lot of great workers there. What I might do before we get into a new show, a new Impact show, is I might do probably the big thing. I think it's probably time that we bring up Nakamura from developmental. We've really worked hard on getting his popularity from nothing really to where it is now. And when we brought him in, his popularity was what, 12? Really non-existent. We've got it to 44, which is pretty good. It's a fair effort. We could probably do better with a few big wins over some guys we don't care about. Get him up there, and let's start pushing him. So I think it's time. I think it's a good time. It's a new month. We're kind of at a point where there's a few opportunities to bring some guys in and get them on the roster. Because I was booking the last Impact show, and I just noticed there was probably 1 or 2 matches there that I was surprised we could even fit on the show. We just had some extra time. So I guess we've got some time. Explosion has plenty of time, so it might be a good, I'm saying time a lot, but it might be a good time, good opportunity to bring in Nakamura now and start getting him going. So we'll recall him and we'll officially bring him up to the main roster, which is exciting. Obviously one of our big projects, finally getting him up on the main roster. We have to kind of find a gimmick for him that will suit him as well. So I think Legitimate is his best. So just a quick look. Yeah, Legitimate is his best and Brute is his best. The best we could do is MMA Badass, next big thing, those types of things. And look, he obviously at the time, right? I remember at this time definitely doing some MMA, so that probably would be the most suited, considered to be ultra dangerous, with his deadly kicks and things like that. Or a Machine, someone who clinically dismantles, Might go the MMA one. All legitimate athlete. Probably could go MMA, something different, and that might help. That, or we can check out the unique gimmicks. These all, can be hard. Sometimes will work really well, sometimes won't. And probably you would go unique charisma for Nakamura, wouldn't you? Because he's different, very charismatic. Yeah, so that probably might be the one. You might go unique charisma for Nakamura. That might suit him more as, what we try and envision him to be now. So enhancement talent, certainly not. That's kind of what they recommend for his popularity. But we'll give him mid-carder status, and we'll just basically have him run through as many guys as we can. Start pushing him strong, give him local guys who got any popularity, keep giving him wins, and hopefully we can get him around that championship, that global championship, towards the mid to end of the year. I think we did say if we worked really hard, we could even get him in that Bound for Glory series, which would be insane, would be awesome. That's a lot of work. I don't know if we can get him there. We'd have to really probably sacrifice a lot of guys. It is possible, though. It is possible. You've got some guys on the roster like a Jerry Lynn, for example, who works as a road agent. You can have him have a match against Jerry Lynn and beat Jerry Lynn, guys who aren't really wrestling. So there's a few little things you can do to probably get him there. So Nakamura officially on our roster, which is awesome. And then we can start to hopefully get him in a position where, as I said, championship worthy towards the end of the year, or be one of our stars. Major star in Japan. So if we can replicate that in the US, would be fantastic. And I think he has the ability. He's one of our better wrestlers on the roster. And Matt Morgan, a one night only deal in GFW. Just have a look at GFW, and they're champions at the moment. So still Perry Saturn, currently champion at the moment. They typically average around 10, 11, 12 title defenses there, so he probably have it for a while. Riley still has it, even though we haven't got him to a contract. And looks like the Shield, they got the tag titles back. I'm not sure when that happened, week 4 February, so it would have just happened last week. They got the tag titles back off Kenny Omega and Hernandez, which is good, because Omega and Hernandez not really a team that we're looking to do anything with. Same with Reigns and Okada, just a really odd, stupid team they put together. But Ambrose and Rollins definitely, so it's good to see them getting some wins and getting those championships. And you can again look at their experience up to 44. You get that to 60, 65 before they come to the main roster. They'll be a very handy team for us in the future. Alright, so we are probably ready to get our Impact on the road. And as I said, try and push Nakamura, try and give him that big victory. Alrighty, so we'll go ahead and show you guys the results. Incident involving Sarita. She showed up late. Well, you showed up late. That's okay. Nothing. Apparently getting a bit worse. I'm okay with that. Show up late once. She hasn't really done much else, so she showed up late. I won't really punish her. Does it again, though, that's a different story. Alright, so we'll do our Impact show and show you some results. Okay, so this week's Impact, we brought out Rob Terry for a match just to see where he's at. He's not good. 21, and that was with great chemistry as well. So 21 with great chemistry. Road Dogg was his opponent. In a 7-minute match, Road Dogg had 85. Wow, that's pretty good actually. From Road Dogg, I was expecting 60, 70. Still can go. Over the show up with, well, I guess it was the Jericho and Christian talk show. I'm just thinking, is it the Peep Show or is it the Highlight Reel? I was blanking for a second on the show name. I guess this week could be the Highlight Reel. But the Dudleys, the Team 3D, they were the guests, and they talk back and forth the mic, and they end up brawling. So kind of steering away from America's Most Wanted, and they're saying, hey, alright, they're gone. Well, we want the tag titles now instead, so going for that. Good segment though, 97, really good. Nakamura had a match. We found good old Rick Steiner. We brought him out for a matchup. Nakamura beat him up pretty easily. Debut, the unique charisma gimmick, just average. Okay, so that was always going to be a risk. A unique gimmick is always a risk because it doesn't guarantee him. He doesn't have the guaranteed stats. We probably could have done the MMA one, maybe done better. But that's okay. I still think this gimmick probably suits him more for what we want him to be. the performance of Nakamura stood out to being to be good. So that was really, really good. So that's positive. So when he does have matches with bigger names, he'll have a really good performance. So 74 from him, Steiner 30. Steiner, I think, has got low 50s popularity, so that should help Nakamura maybe bump to 45, 46, hopefully. Muhammad Hassan promo saying that he's going to easily beat Fallen Angel when they have their rematch. Probably telling the truth. Jeff Jarrett beat Jay Lethal. We did this obviously to give Jeff another win, but also give Jay Lethal a chance to be, highlighted a little bit. We haven't done a lot with Jay, and a chance for him to kind of step up and shine in a big match against a big name. So he didn't do that great, just 66, whereas Jeff did 83. Jay seemed off his game a little bit, so he could probably do better. But maybe that gives him a small popularity bump. You never know. That's kind of one way to help those lower guys out by doing that. Samoa Joe and Rhino went back and forth as well, arguing backstage, agreeing to face each other in a match, obviously coming off that big brawl that they had. So we're starting pretty well with this feud. I'm liking this so far, and this is going pretty well. Sarah Del Rey and Beth Phoenix versus Melina and Molly Holly. We can finally use Melina again in the ring, which is good, and she was good. 83 for Melina, Molly Holly 67, Beth 65. Sarah Del Rey struggled, 48. Now that's surprising. Normally she's better than that. Not sure what's going on there with Sarah Del Rey, but not great from her at all. Alex Shelley coming out saying he has to defend his championship, so who's it going to be this week? Chavo Guerrero debuts. He is the surprise acceptor of the challenge and above average for his gimmick. So Chavo makes his grand debut. Surprise acceptance, and that's good because, if you have all these challenges, open challenges, you want to kind of see some surprises at one point. And so there is the surprise. This match between the two, this will be interesting to see how good Chavo is. 85, okay. So we did say Chavo probably is a mid-60s to maybe mid-70s at best, and he performed at 68. Without a storyline, of course, maybe he could bump that into lowish 70s. So not amazing from Chavo, but not bad. Not amazing, but not bad. But Shelley, 88. So Chavo probably will need someone to carry him, and maybe tag teaming with Homicide might be a better choice for Chavo. But Shelley got the win thanks to, it was not a clean win. He cheated to win, so cheated to beat Chavo to kind of protect Chavo a little bit. Then we had Goldberg, Abyss, and Kevin Thorne. So Goldberg's in the ring calling out Abyss. Abyss music's hit. Music hits. We think it's Abyss coming out, but it's actually Kevin Thorne dressed as Abyss with the mask on. And then meanwhile, Abyss attacks Goldberg from behind with a cheap shot. And Goldberg gets laid out because, he thought it was Abyss, but it turns out it wasn't. So it didn't work out too well for him. Pretty good though, 93. I thought I did this because I wanted to really switch it up, do something different that we have never done before. We haven't done that one, and it worked out pretty well. And finally, our main event, Fallen Angel versus Matt Morgan. Fallen Angel 93, Matt Morgan 82. Ron Killings came out, distracted Matt Morgan to help Angel win. As we said a few episodes ago, Fallen Angel needs some big wins to give him a reason, to be back in the title picture. So I wanted him to get a big win, but I didn't want him to beat someone who had higher popularity than him and sacrifice them. And I thought Matt Morgan, he's one of our better workers, so I thought I'd step him up, see how he goes in the main event, and he did fantastic. 82 from him, Angel 93, 92 overall for the match. Really good, can't complain with that. And afterwards, Muhammad Hassan beat up Fallen Angel as well, and sending a bit of a message there. 91 overall for our Impact show. Pretty happy with that. You can't complain. 91's always a good show. Very, very good. So different segments there on that show this time, just to switch it up a little bit, and probably paid off. Worked out pretty decent in the end. And also the debut of Chavo and the re-debut, I guess, of Nakamura as well. So officially part of the main roster, Nakamura gets a chance there. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have time for. Hope you enjoyed this episode of our TW playthrough of TNA. If you enjoyed it, leave a like on it. Let's try and get 100 likes. If 100 likes, I'll upload more episodes for you. So you know the drill by now. More likes, more episodes, and hopefully you have enjoyed this one. Make sure you check out our WWE 2009, aka 2010 playthrough. We're now in 2010. getting ready to go to the Royal Rumble and build towards WrestleMania. So exciting times ahead on that series. We will be streaming that again this week, so keep an eye out for that. But if you haven't already, check out the previous episodes. They're available on the channel now. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. See you next time.